stage are two of his current teachers, Mr. Brian Kornberger and Mr. Dave Long. As Kyle makes his way to the stage, we'd like to share with you a few things they've said about him. From Mr. Kornberger: I believe Kyle has been a terrific role model for other student athletes at Glenawn. He is a young man of integrity and high character, always treating others as he would like to be treated himself. From Mr. Long: Kyle is a hard-working, confident young man who has a real love of learning. He's willing to challenge his own thinking, the most vital task of a thoughtful person. He tends to detail and looks for the bigger picture. One of his greatest strengths is his tremendous curiosity. Determination, perseverance, and insight. Kyle has it all. Kyle is truly an exceptional student, and it's no wonder or surprise that his classmates chose him to represent him on this very special occasion. After Kyle speaks to you, he'll be presented with the Valedictorian Award. It is now my pleasure to invite Kyle to speak on behalf of Glenawn's graduating class of 2015.
Hello and welcome to Glenawn's 2015 convocation. I am honored to have been elected valedictorian and will do my best to represent my peers. First and foremost, I would like to thank all those who made achieving our high school diplomas possible. Could we have done it without you? Yes. Yes, we could have. Would our experience have been as enjoyable? No, probably not. So to the friends and peers who supported us, encouraged us, and laughed with us, we are thankful. To the teachers who educated us, expanded our worldview, and challenged us, even though it is your job, we are grateful. To the parents and family who raised us, shaped us, and loved us unconditionally, we are forever indebted. The sun is setting on our high school experience, but rising on a new adventure as well. So as the end of Glenawn begins, let's rewind the clock one final time, back to the very beginning. It was a sunny day in September 2011 when Glenawn got the first taste of the majority of what comprises our graduating class today. We were smaller back then, in stature and in intellect. We entered into Glenawn as individuals, and it seems fitting that my first high school memory is an individual one. It may have been beautiful outside, but inside I was a hurricane of emotions. I felt scared and lost and slightly terrified that the grade 12s who roamed the halls were hungry for a grade 9. My only comfort throughout the first week of my high school career was the knowledge that one day it would all be over. Now as that day no longer lies in the distant future, but is a sobering reality of the present, the fact is that soon it will be. We are no longer nervous grade 9s, nor awkward grade 10s, or arrogant grade 11s. Today, the journey ends. Today, we are graduates. This journey, our journey, has included its fair share of accomplishments for us as a grade and as individuals. Athletically, we have once again been the cream of the crop in our conference, taking home championship banners in almost every sport. Oh, shoot. There we go. We also poured thousands of hours of work and effort into perfecting the musical The Pajama Game, which played in front of sold-out audiences night after night. Hats off as well to Glenawn's musicians who once again dominated in their field. I'm told music isn't a competition, but if there were winners and losers, there would be no one to match the musically gifted of Glenawn Collegiate. And our accomplishments were not limited to the court or the stage. In April, Glenawn's Femme Focus hosted a 2-day conference attended by over 100 participants and inspired by speeches from a number of influential Manitobans, including Teresa Oswald and Nahani Fontaine. In May, Glenawn's literary and creative community launched the 4th annual Ignite, a celebration of writing and visual arts. And in June, Youth in Philanthropy participated in their final service project of the year, making and serving soup and sandwiches to hungry Winnipeggers at the Oak Table Soup Kitchen. These are a few of the many accomplishments of the graduating class of 2015. And, given their number and variety, it's no wonder that the years between September 2011 and June 2015 seem to have disappeared like the sun dipping below the horizon. The good times we've had have passed, seemingly without care or concern. Time did not pause to let us soak in the moment, but constantly move from one experience to the next. Despite time's constant rush, we lived, breathed, existed in moments with each other that were so joyous it seemed incomprehensible that they would soon pass. We wish that those moments, just barely over, could be relived with the people who made our high school lives unforgettable. For some of us, regardless of the pace time traveled, high school seemed agonizingly slow. For some of us struggled to fit in, to form friendships, or to find our passion, and endure what maybe weren't the best 4 years of your life. It is hard enough to make it to this day when things come easily, and harder still when they don't. But we made it. Regardless of whether time flew or crawled, each and every one of us is a part of this graduating class. At this moment, it would be fitting for me to sing, "We're all in this together," but anyone who heard me singing last night will know why I will not. Speaking of music, let's talk about people who can actually sing. Let's talk about a certain week in February, when all the grades competed against each other to determine which grade had the most spirit. And despite all of our time and energy, despite spectacular performances in events like Voice Your Stuff and Dance Off, and despite being destined to win, we lost. We will, in this lifetime, lose many things. We will lose our keys and our wallets. We will lose meaningless games and championship games. We will lose friendships and loved ones. Life is full of loss. But there is a way to find victories in defeat. What I believe was our biggest victory was how our grade came together following our Spirit Week loss. Dressed all in black on the following Monday, we showed that we no longer needed teachers to orchestrate events that would allow for our grade to unite. And we went further. We collected and donated over $500 to cancer care, bags of clothing to Siloam Mission, and hundreds of pounds of food to Winnipeg Harvest. We worked together one more time. But this time, it wasn't about judges, points, or a title. This time, it was about doing something for people beyond the walls of Glenawn. In physics, Mr. Poulter taught us that light travels faster than anything in the world. But regardless of how fast light travels, it finds that darkness is always there first. However, it only takes a little light to permeate the darkness that is in the world, and we can be that light. Mahatma Gandhi once said, "Be the change you wish to see in the world." So if you see a world without joy, fill it with joy. If you see a world without hope, fill it with hope. If you see a world without love, fill it with love. And if we, each and every day, strive to push back the darkness, then maybe, just maybe, when the sun comes up tomorrow, there'll be a little more light and a little less dark. There is no better time to make a difference, to leave a legacy, to change the world than the present. Today, we are living in a world in need of change. Every day, 21,000 kids die from hunger and malnutrition. That's one child every 4 seconds. As we head into the world as the generation of the future, we can choose to give a future to a generation affected by misfortune. But it requires a choice. As people living in a society driven by materialism and excess, where greed gleefully claws at our wallets and our minds, we are too often focused on what we want rather than on what others need. Who among us will make that choice, to put others before themselves? There are currently 1.4 billion people in the world today living on less than $1.25 a day. Extreme poverty. Can we change the lives of over 1 billion people? No, probably not. Can we change the life of one person? Or 2 people? Or 3? Yes. Yes, we can make that choice. With $28 billion, we can provide annual health care, sanitation, and education for the entire world, essentially ending world poverty. Does anyone here have $28 billion? Anyone? Raise your hand. 22 billion, maybe? Seems like an insurmountable sum, but Mr. Gillowitz taught us in Global Issues that perspective is a powerful, powerful thing. So let's put that number in perspective. The annual global spending on ice cream alone is $59 billion. Who in this group will commit to bringing a hope to the hopeless and a future to the futureless? There are currently 65 million girls in the world who will never sit where you were sitting, who will never wear a cap and gown. They do not have the opportunity to go to school. Who in this graduating class will work to change this? Because of global conflicts, there are 7.8 million people who are refugees, forced to leave their homes, schools, and families, all things that most of us take for granted. Who in this graduating class will reduce this staggering number? There has been talk of how we're going to leave a legacy at Glenawn. We all want others to remember the class of 2015. As we leave Glenawn, I challenge all of us to leave a legacy in the world, in our province, in our city, and for our communities. Go out and change the world, just like we've changed Glenawn. As of right now, we are basically no different than the graduating classes that have preceded us. The test of true uniqueness will come in the months and years following today. If we want to distinguish ourselves from those who have come before us and from those who will follow us, then we must choose to be different. Different in how we treat others, and different in not only how, but why we live our lives. My hope is that one day we will all wake up and know that we did all we could to change the world. And if we do this, if we meet the challenges that face us, then we will be shaping a world where everyone has access to food, education, and shelter. A world where people's opportunities are not defined by the families they are born into. My dream is to live in that world alongside each and every one of you that I have the privilege of graduating with today. It has been my sincere and genuine pleasure getting to know, work with, and grow with each and every one of you. Right now, Mr. Bradshaw is looking down at his speech and thinking, it's over, I have a copy. But no, Mr. Bradshaw, my speech is not over. This graduating class is about to do something unique, something that has not been done in a while for Glenawn. So graduating class, you guys know what to do.
Thank you, Kyle. Well, there remained one more important task. Please move those red tassels from the left to the right and congratulate yourselves and the people sitting beside you.